Good morning. I am here for day 10. We've made it. This is 1/3 of the way. This is day 10 of our zipper sewing series. I'm going to give everybody a second to hop on, and then I'm going to do my shares, and then we'll be ready to go. So check in. Let me know who you are, what you're doing. Hi, Megan. Good to see you this morning. It's always fun to see everyone. We are having a really lazy day today. My two little ones, good morning, Heidi. My two little ones both have runny noses, so they're feeling super pooky. Aw, thanks, Megan. They're feeling pooky, so we're kind of just hanging out and not doing very much today. So I'm just going to share everything here, and then we'll get going. And I think I'm getting faster at this. That's the goal anyways. I'm almost there. Come on, here we go. Oops, post. One more. So today we are going to be working on a, okay, I'm done. Today, hi Tanya. Today we're going to be working on sewing a zipper pouch with a zipper pocket inside. So let me just push my computer out of the way. So this is something that I know how to do, but I don't do it all that frequently. So it might not look as easy as all the other days because it's not something I work on all the time. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'll kind of show you what I've got here, what supplies I've got, and then we'll be ready to get going. This one is a little bit more time intensive, I guess. It just requires a little bit more planning than the ones we've been doing. Before I get started, you can see all the other days if you look in the description of this post. I've got 2 blog posts. I'm breaking them up so they're not too huge. So the first 7 days are in the first post, and day 8 and 9 are in the second post. And it's got all the supplies for all of the pouches we've done. And then we've also got a Facebook Live sewing group, which I've linked up there, which is fun. That's a great place to find all the bloggers who are sharing their live videos. And yeah, so today our pouch is going to be a little bit different size because I just love this fabric. Hi, Elaine. And I couldn't bear to cut it down. So my squares are 11 inches today. And I promise I'm not like planning it. This happens to be the same color as my shirt. So let me just bring you down a little tiny bit. So these are 11-inch squares. This fabric and our lining fabric are both from Art Gallery Fabrics. They're the Pandalicious from Caterina Roccella, however you say it. So that's what these two are. And they're both 11 inches. And then on our line, this is our lining. This is my lining, and I've already put on some interfacing. It's hard to see, but it's just this. I'm using this medium heat and bond, and I've put it. It doesn't go all the way. You can see it goes to about here. So I've left about 1/4 to 1/2 inch around all the edges, and I've got it on both. So these are my lining pieces. They're both 11 inches. Heidi, I don't pre-wash my fabric. I know that might be not what everyone does, but I don't. And I've never had a problem. I mean, in all my years of sewing, I've never had anything be ruined by not pre-washing it. And this Art Gallery Fabrics, I think I've mentioned before, the feel, like the hand of it is just so nice. And so, it still feels nice after you wash it, but I like to work with it like it is. So, okay, I've got the two 11-inch squares. And then I've got a piece, let me measure it because I just used what I had. It was already ready to go. 13. This piece is 7 inches by 13 inches. Okay, and this is also Art Gallery Fabrics, but this is another one from that April Rhodes, Arizona line that is, it's just too pretty. It's got these little metallic gold triangles. I don't know if you can see how shiny they are. I just love it. I gush about my April Rhodes fabrics, and this is another one. It goes with that Arizona line, and I just adore it. So this is 7 inches by 13 inches, and I've also got the interfacing on this. And you can see I've already done some measuring and I screwed up, so I started again, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to be, you're not going to see it. So let's get starting. Good morning, Linda. Thanks for being here. Let's get started so for the measurements. Then I've also got the zipper for the outside, and I've got a zipper on the inside. This one's really long, but we're going to cut it out. You can get the fabric on Etsy. If you click in the link to the blog post for day 8 and 9, I've already put the links for this fabric down at the bottom of that blog post. You can also find it on Etsy. This is called Pandalicious, and this is Arizona by April Rhodes. So that's where you can find it. Etsy, or I'm sure, you know, some of the fabric shops carry it, but Etsy tends to have the fabrics a little longer because these are a little bit older. Okay, so we've got our zipper for outside ready, the zipper for the inside. Now we're ready to get this prepped. Good morning, Kristen. So what we're gonna do, and this is why I screwed up and had to start again. First thing, you're gonna measure your zipper, okay? And I thought I had a 1-inch zipper because I thought they were pretty universal, and they're not. This one is about 3/4 of an inch. If you can see, I've got some space here between the 1-inch mark. So measure your zipper first. That's the first step. Measure the width of the zipper. So 3/4 of an inch is what we've got. So what I've done is I've measured down on my pocket. I didn't come up with this technique. This is kind of a way people do it, but this is you know, these measurements and everything are my own. So I've measured down 1.5 inches from the top. So, and then I've drawn a line you can go all the way across. You can see I went most of the way across. Draw a line 1.5 inches down, and then you're going to draw a line, another line, 3/4 of an inch down from that line. So you've got this line and this line are 3/4 of an inch apart. And then one more line is in the middle. So just split the difference between the 3/4. So this is directly in the middle of those two 3/4 inch lines. Then you're going to draw 2 lines, and these are 1 inch. You're going to close off your rectangle basically 1 inch in. So right here is 1 inch from here to here. And then you're going to do one more on this side, 1 inch. Where is it? 1 inch in from here to here. Okay, so your rectangle, what you really need, these extra lines don't matter, they're not going to show. What you really need is 1 inch in here, 1.5 inches in here, 1 inch in here, and then this bottom one is 3/4 of an inch down from this top one. If you were using a 1-inch zipper, this bottom line would be 1 inch down from that scroll inch, 1 inch down from the sorry, I got totally distracted. This line would be 1 inch down if you had a 1-inch zipper. Okay, so I'm doing 3/4 of an inch because mine is 3/4. Then the last thing is just to give us some diagonal lines here. So that's what it's going to look like. Those are our measurements, and that's how to get it. This is the pocket. This is what will be the pocket. So that's how you get that prepped. Okay, so I know this one, I mean, this is a lot more, like I said, intense than the other ones we've been doing, but it's just measuring, and you've got, you know, a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be exactly straight. This is a pocket that's inside the zipper pouch, so it's not a massive deal if you're off by a few centimeters, 1 or 2 centimeters. Okay, now, so you're going to see I messed up, like I said, so don't look at this one. We're just using the one on the top. This is the one that is the right measurement. So if you see the second one, that's what it is. It's just a screw up. So on my pocket piece, I've used this is medium. I've used a heavy interfacing on my pocket piece, but that's just because I had it lying around. You could also use this medium on the pocket. Not a huge deal. Okay, so now we're ready to line it up. This is our inside lining piece. It's going to be right side up. Our pocket piece will be right side down with our drawn zipper part, whatever you want to call it, at the top. Now we're going to measure, you're going to measure, so we want to make sure that it's even on both sides. So I think mine should be about 2 inches on either side of it. And then you want to make sure and leave yourself a seam allowance. So I'm also putting it down 2 inches. So I'm down 2 inches, in 2 inches, in 2 inches. And that's where I want to be. So now I'm going to pin this in place. On 4 sides. And we're going to sew around the rectangle that we just created. So let me move us in here so you can see. I'm using my 1/4 inch foot. And I'm going to try and get as close to the line that I've drawn as I can. And a little bit extra is fine. Back stitching is a good idea on this one. So we're just going to sew all the way around. Back stitch a little bit. And then, let me see. So I'm back stitching. So I'm ready to start. And I'm just going to back stitch. Good morning, Joyce. All right. Now you can see, I used a white thread, so it's hard to see. You can see I've gone all the way around my rectangle. This is the back side of the lining. Where is it? It's hard to see. So I've gone all the way around my lining, the rectangle that I've drawn on my pocket lining, excuse me. And now here's the part that can be a little scary, but don't be scared. Some people use a seam ripper for this. Hi Anna. So you could use a seam ripper and try and go in here. I'm just gonna do scissors, and I'm just gonna give myself, you know, when you were a kid and you would fold it in half, fold paper in half to get into the middle of a circle. That's all I'm going to do. So now I've got a little hole. This goes all the way through, okay? It goes through to the lining and through all of this. You're going to stick your scissors in. Should go all the way through. Maybe I didn't get all the way through. Let me try one more time. There we go. Now I'm all the way through. You're going to stick your scissors in, and we're just going to cut along this line that we drew in before. And then we're going to do our diagonal. Try and get as close to those corners as you can, but don't go over your seam. I'm going to show you this after I'm done. Okay, and then I'm going to go the other way. I'm just cutting along the line that I drew earlier and the diagonal lines that I drew. This just gives us a nice place to turn it out. Okay, so we've gone all the way through. See? All the way. And we've done our diagonals here. You can see those. And now we're ready for the next step. The next step, this seems weird and tricky, but it's not. The next step, we're just going to take our pocket piece, throw it, turn it out. So pull it through that rectangle you just created all the way through. Might be a little tricky with the interfacing because it's heavy and thick. Now, it's going to look funky on this back side, but we don't really care about the back side because that's not what anyone's going to see. This is inside our pocket, okay? So it looks a little funky on that side. What we care about is this front side. So you really want to work it on the front, if you can see. Just really working it to kind of loosen up those seams there. And then you're going to take it and you want to press to make these as nice as you can. I've got kind of a tight, the corners are tight with the heavy interfacing. So you can kind of see where we're getting. You'll want to take and really take your time to work this to make it right, okay? And those corners are always going to be tricky. We're going to take it really quick and press. So we'll be here at our pressing machine. I mean my iron. Don't listen to me. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're just going to try, I'm going to work each corner separately and try and just get it as flat as I can. Remember, this is the side we care about, the piece that's the lining piece. Because this is the only part you'll see. So just work it as much as you can to be flat. And I would really recommend that you take your time and do this when you're doing it at home on your own, because I want it to be really nice for you. I'm not going to waste your time spending hours pressing, but I just wanted to give you a general idea. Hi, Ellen. Yep, you can clip some more to get it flat. Clip a little bit more on that diagonal there. That's a great idea when you do it for yourself. I'm just want to give you the best idea how, in as short of a time as I can, because I don't want you to be sitting here for hours watching me. So I'm just going to press. You can go in and clip some more to make it flat. And then press it as much as you can. Okay. Mine's not going to be perfect because this is live and perfection takes time, right? So let's move back really quick to here. And we can see, I mean, it's not as flat as I'd like it to be. You should clip. And yeah, right now I'm using a shark iron, Suzanne. It works just fine. So I don't know what exactly it's called, but okay. So when you do this, clip it a little more to make the corners really nice. You can notch these in here a little bit to make it fall flat, and that's a great plan. But we're gonna just do it like this so you can get the idea. Now we're ready for our zipper, and we're just going to, I've got a lot of extra, which is fine. You can cut it off at the end. So now we're going to line the zipper up so that it pokes out on this side. Can you see how it fits there? How it's going to show up here? Oh, don't sew the short ends. I've never heard that tip. That might work if you just sew along the top edge here. Hold on. Katie was saying don't sew these when you go through. I've never tried it that way. That might be a great thing to try. That's a good tip. Okay, so we're just gonna line our zipper up. I'm trying to make it so you can see. We're gonna line our zipper so it goes flat. It lays flat here, and we have, can you see how it goes there? I've seen lots of different ways people do this. You can glue it in place with like a glue stick. You can use like fabric fuse. You can use like hem tape. There's all sorts of great ideas for attaching the zipper here. I'm sure you guys have some tips too if you're seasoned on how to keep the zipper where you want it. Okay, and so then let's see, we've got it pinned in place and we're ready to sew. You can sew if you've got it especially if you use hem tape or glue, you can then flip it over and sew on this side so you can see. Make sure that your seam is nice. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, even though I didn't use those. But I recommend you do. Try those things to keep it in place. Especially if this is new for you. You don't want to have your zipper move on you. So I'm just going to sew, oops, not that, pressing the wrong thing. Sew as close as I can to the edge here of my lining fabric with my zipper in place. And I'm just using my 1/4 inch foot, which is the nice thing about this. Because we have some room. You don't have to use your zipper foot. Okay, now I've come here. I'm gonna pull my pin out from behind. Where is it? Where is my pin? If only I could use my clips on this. That would be amazing, right? Okay. I'm gonna give myself a back stitch here, just to really hold that zipper firm. Okay. Then again, I'm going to get as close to the edge as I can. Let's make sure I've got... Okay, and the last little edge here. Okay, now we'll see what we've got. Okay, I missed my zipper a little bit. Let me just fix it. I'm going to turn it over. I can see that I missed my zipper on one little spot. My zipper wasn't completely centered, so let me just make sure I've got my zipper. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's see what we've got here. So I'm tripping this up. And I didn't take my time to really press, so it's not going to be as flat as it could be. You can definitely make it flatter if you clip a little more. Maybe try not doing the sides. But here's what we've got. Now we've got a zipper inside. Okay, to finish this off, I'm just going to clip my zipper now that we've got it. It's held in on either side so we can trim whatever extra zipper we've got. Okay, just trim the zipper off. All right, now we are going to take our pocket. You could make 2 pieces of this. We've just left it long, and we're going to finish off our pocket, and then we'll be ready to assemble the entire pouch. So I'm going to just, let's see, I'm going to clip these in place. Now the key here is that we don't want to sew, this part. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to turn on my Do Not Disturb. Okay, so we want to just sew the pocket. So I'm going to show you how we can do that. All right, so I've just clipped it. I've just folded the pocket up. Remember, that's a mess up. I folded the pocket up and clipped it in place. So, this is what it should be, free moving all the way around. So we're just going to sew around using a 1/4 inch and move this out of the way as we go. You can see I'm just going to move it, and then I'm going to move it, and then I'm going to move it. So we can just get the pocket. You should be able to get this so see how it stands alone there, and you've just got this. It should be free moving like that. So we're going to attach it that way. Again, still with my 1/4 inch foot. Sorry, my pocket looks really tortured. It was not. I was playing around with this earlier too. You could use like canvas, and then you don't have to use much interfacing at all. If you use like a thicker canvas. So remember, I'm just moving this underneath out of the way every time I get to the new side, because I don't want to sew over that lining. All right, now for our the top side, I move this out of the way. So it's all bunched up now. That's how you want it, out of the way. Now we've got an inside pocket. Isn't that fun? So you can see that we've got our fun lining in there and our zipper. Isn't that fun? You can see. Yay! Okay, so now we literally are just going to do the exact same thing we've done every other day to assemble our pouch. So I've got my outside piece. I've got my zipper with tabs. You know I love a zipper with tabs. And I'm going to put the zipper face right side down. So my pull is on the front here. This is the right side. My pull will be in the middle. I'm going to put it right side down onto the top edge. I'm lining up my zipper, not my tabs, onto the top edge of our first outside piece. Gonna pin that in place. Find my zipper foot. Here it is. Okay, come on. It's hiding in here. Fine, everybody out. Okay, there's the zipper foot. All right. Just gonna pin it in place. And we're ready to, someone asked the other day about if you could sew them both together. I mean, technically you could, like when you do this, you could also put the lining right side down on top of the wrong side of the zipper, but and then sew it, line it up like this and sew it, but I really like to see the zipper, so that's why I do it twice. I just, I want it to look as nice as possible when I'm done. So that's why I do it this way. So you could technically take out that step, but I don't choose to. And remember, this is just how I do things. There's probably hundreds of ways that people do this. I'm just sharing with you my way and how I've started doing things, how I've been doing things for a long time. So don't feel like you have to do it my way, but I'm just showing you this is my way. The zipper, so the needle is to the left. I know that it looks, reversed on here on the video, but the needle is to the left, the foot is to the right. When I get to the pull, I'm just gonna move it out of the way and continue on. And then this is what it will look like if you open it up. There's our first side, but we're not going to open it up. We're going to put this down. The zipper is wrong side up. We've got the right side of our outside piece is up. We're going to take our first, why not? I'm going to do the pocket at the end. So we're going to take our first piece of the inside lining, not the one with the pocket, and I'm going to put it right side down. I'm lining it up with the outside piece on these sides, and I'm lining it up with the zipper on the top, and I'm just going to clip it in place. And I'm going to just make sure that my pull is towards the middle, and then I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over, and I'm going to sew on that one that I just created, that I just did for the outside piece. I'm going to sew along that line one more time to attach the lining piece. Move my zipper pull out of the way. Alright, and we've got our first side attached. Okay, so then we'll open it up so you can see what it'll look like. So this is what we've got. We've got our first side attached. On the back, this is what it looks like. And now we're going to top stitch. I like what we did yesterday where I'm just going to pull this kind of flat, finger press it, and then I'm just going to use some clips here at the bottom to keep this in place so it doesn't bunch up when I'm trying to top stitch. Okay? To top stitch, I like to put the fabric this way towards my machine so that I can use this little edge of my zipper foot to be my guide. I try and guide that, have that line up right at the very edge of my fabric. Oh, when that happens. Sorry, I lost my thread there. This machine is totally not fancy, so it doesn't have a function where it starts it without losing it. That's why that happens to me sometimes. So, anyways, now I'm ready. Away there. Okay. Still kind of making sure all my fabric is flat. Okay. So now we've got our top stitch that we've done along the very top. This will keep it flat and away from the zipper. So now we're ready to start the other side. My pull goes back to the middle. My second piece of outside fabric, we're going to put right side up. This piece, let me just undo these clips. This piece, the zipper pull, the right side of the zipper goes down. It's face down. We're lining it up with either side. So all these 3 layers should now be lined up, and the zipper should be lined up with the top of our lining piece here. Okay, so we're all straight on all 3 sides. Just going to clip that in place. And we're ready to go. Back to our machine, with our zipper foot. Let's see, okay. I'm just sewing as close to the zipper as I can. Now I've got my pull. I'm going to go in and move it out of the way. This just keeps it from pulling on the fabric and making it uneven. These black zippers are a little bit hard to see where the zipper is, so just do your best. Now we're ready. We've got one more exposed edge of the zipper, and we're going to put our lining piece down. So the zipper is now, we've got our first lining piece, it's face up. The zipper is right side down, and we're going to take our piece with the pocket that we just made and line it up. It's not going to line up as well here. It's going to cut a little bit of it's going to take a little bit of our width of the lining out, which is fine. We're just going to line it up with the top of the zipper. still trying to line it up. These little edges will still line up mostly with the edge here. Okay, and then we're all set. Sorry guys. Okay, so now we've got it. We're going to turn it over and sew on this line here. Sewing right over the seam I've already created when I put the outside piece on this side of the zipper. Now I'm going to stop and move my pole out of the way. Next step, we're going to open it up again. Now you can kind of see, like I said, my pocket looks a little bit tortured, but you can kind of see what we're going to have here. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and here's our outside. And I'm just going to top stitch like we've been doing. So I'm going to try and get everything as flat as I can. And then I'm just going to clip it in place somewhere where there's a clippable spot, like so. And we're going to top stitch right along here, along the zipper, like we just did up here. So I'm just going to add the top stitch here on the bottom. Okay, and again, I'm using this edge of my zipper foot to, I'm lining it up with the top edge of the fabric to keep it as straight as I can. Move this way again. Okay, so there's, oh, I ran out of my bobbin about halfway through. That's always lovely. It's all right, we've got more. I'm just gonna use, all my thread is all the same brand and weight and everything, so that's why I interchange colors. I wouldn't recommend interchanging like different brands, or because some are polyester, some are cotton, so all of mine are the same. So that's the only time I recommend, where is it? That's the only time I recommend interchanging your bobbin color and your top color. So that's, okay. All right, so now here's what we've got. We've got it top stitched on the top, and it's on the back too. I'm going to trim up my little tabs that I created here, just so that it's even with everything. Let me just snip these threads here that I've got. Okay. All right. Now we're going to close it up and then we'll be done. So next we're going to pin everything together. So we're going to put our two lining pieces together and our two outside pieces together. We're going to start right here where the two pieces meet. And I like to push this piece, this little piece out towards the outside. And then I'm just going to clip that in place. And then I'm going to go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to push it out and clip it in place. Now, our lining pieces are not going to be super even, so this is what I want you to do. You see, I've got some extra lining here, but I'm just going to ignore that, and I'm going to use this and do my 1/4 inch on here, okay? So when you sew, that's what, you're just going to use that piece. Okay? And take your time on your pocket so it doesn't turn out tortured like mine. Now I'm just going to pin these together. Clip. You know what I mean, right? You know I mean clip. I say pin. I always mean, almost always mean clip. Oh, I do need this actually. Okay, and then we're set to put it all together. So we're going to go back to our 1/4 inch foot. I'm putting this in my clip jar. There we go. Back to our 1/4 inch foot. And, oh, remember, I say this and I forgot to today. Our lining piece, you're going to leave yourself a good, 6 inches here. Don't sew on this 6 inches because that's where we're going to turn everything out, okay? So we're going to start here and sew all the way around using our 1/4 inch seam allowance, and measure it with the lining. Use your lining that has the pocket to measure. So don't sew on the side without the lining, without the pocket, because you'll miss it. My pedal wandered away. Does anybody else have a walking pedal? Just gets up and takes a little coffee break. I'm just going to line this up as best as I can. You could totally do your box corner on this one too, like we've been doing. We're already been here for a while, so I'm going to skip the box today, the box corner, because I don't want to take up too much time here. Okay. All right. Don't forget to leave yourself that room to turn it out. Oh, my zipper's open, yay. I forgot to mention, and yesterday I forgot to do it, mention that we leave your zipper open so you can see it in there. Oh, not that one, that's our pocket zipper. Leave it open when you sew. Today's a big do as I say, not as I do day. Right? I'm going to play the parent card on this one today, guys. So I'm just going to flip it out, turn everything out. This is my chance to really press these corners out. As best you can. I keep forgetting to turn the fan on and I get all sweaty. Does anybody else get hot when they sew? I'm always so hot. Even when I'm not don't have hundreds of people watching me sew, I still get hot. So I promise you, it's not you, it's me. Okay, I'm just gonna stick my pen in here and push this out. I should have turned my fan on. I keep forgetting. Well, because then when I turn my fan on, it blows everything around, and then I'm like, I can't find stuff because maybe I could turn the fan down. That would be wise. That's using your brain, huh? Okay, so here you can see we've got, it's turned out a funky way. There we go. Make sure you get these little corners where the tabs go. So we've got our pocket inside. Isn't that fun? Yay! There's our inside pocket. The last step to finish this guy off is we're just gonna kind of, this is our opening, we're just gonna kind of fold these under a bit, and then for me to get them straight, I just kind of pull at the edges, and that kind of holds everything in line. And you can press that down. I can't stress enough, I recommend pressing all the time. Like, you should be pressing your pieces like every few steps you're gonna press. I don't do it here on camera just because it's such a hassle to go to the ironing board, and my ironing board's ugly, so I don't really want to show it to you that often. But I do recommend pressing all the time, frequently. It keeps everything nice and tight, and it makes it look much nicer when it's finished. I think that's one of the biggest rookie mistakes, is to think you can get by in sewing without pressing, because pressing really, like, it just really makes everything crisp and nice. Last step, so we've got our opening pinned up here. Our last step is just to sew along this bottom, and I like to sew as close to the edge as I can. And I'm aware I'm using 2 different colored threads, but it's the lining, and what do we say? Nobody really looks in there, right? And if they do, they best not be complaining. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna turn up my threads here, and then we'll stuff it in and give it a look-see to see how it turned out. Okay, got some threads somewhere else. Where is it? There it is. Okay, all right, so we've got our edge closed up. I just sew, like I said, I sew all the way along. It just gives it a more cohesive look. You could just sew right here to here where you left it open. Totally a personal preference. All right, I'm just gonna shove this inside here, and we'll see what we got going. We'll see how we did. Oh, there we go. Okay. Press it in as much as we can. Okay, so here is our outside. This is what we've got. And then inside, we've got our pocket. Just so fun. Let me find the zipper. There we go. We've got our pocket inside. You can see it's all lined up. It's got a lining, I mean. So yeah, that is one way to add an inside zipper pocket. And you can see, even though it looked horribly tortured and it wasn't the prettiest thing when I was doing it, you can barely even tell. I mean, it looks nice. So this is definitely a little bit more of an advanced technique. So don't beat yourself up if you have to try a few times. Like, I should go back and fix it because it wasn't perfect. But that's that. So make sure you guys turn on notifications so you can find us tomorrow. Give me your suggestions. What do you guys want to make tomorrow? I would love to hear them. I've got on my radar using some clear fabric. I think what I'm actually going to I mean, that doesn't exist. Some vinyl. I'm going to use some vinyl to make a pouch. I think that would be fun. I'm also waiting for some lacy zippers to get here so we can add that. So it would be a fun zipper that will be on the outside. What else I've got a bunch of things on my radar. Like a flat pencil pouch. I think we'll do one of those. So I want to hear what you want to make. I want to know what you're still wanting to know after we're a third of the way through. Now this is day 10. So please ask your questions, comment, and you can turn on notifications so you can find us. I also have a Facebook Live sewing group, which I've linked in the description of this post. I've linked all 10 days. Also in the description, there's 2 blog posts with all of my supplies, everything I use. It's got the Wonder Clips in it. It's got all the fabrics, anything you're going to need. And it's got this interfacing in it. So please tell me what you want to do. And I wanted to just say, we're using Art Gallery today. I wanted to shout out to them because they're down there. Lots of them are down in Miami, and I hope they are staying safe. everybody in Florida is staying safe. So I'm going to go sit and watch the TV. That's what I was doing all morning, was watching them, watching the news just to make sure, because I have family there. And I hope everyone's family and friends are staying safe. So we'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back, and have a great day.